Namaskar. Today session number 38, we will be discussing about the characteristic of Indian foreign exchange market. Over the last 37 sessions, we have discussed the various parameters of exchange rate markets, the variables of exchange rate market, the theories of exchange rate market, how we can apply all these parameter theories in Indian foreign exchange market so as to understand the features of Indian foreign exchange market over the periods. If you look at the liberalization of foreign exchange market, it was started sometime during 1992-93 onwards. Over the period, many committees has been appointed who have given different kind of liberalization measures to liberalize the Indian foreign exchange market. The Sodhani committee, the Tarapur committee, all these two committees are very important for the development of Indian foreign exchange market. As per the recommendation of this committee, the Government of India, the Reserve Bank of India have taken different policy measures to liberalize the Indian foreign exchange market. We will be in the session 38, we will be discussing about the characteristic of the Indian foreign exchange market, and here we try to understand the features of Indian foreign exchange market, the various parameters of Indian foreign exchange market like the transaction cost, like the current account convertibility, the determinant of Indian spot market rate, how different rates like the spot rate, card rate, your merchant rate have been developed over the years, and also we will understand the application of VAR modeling, the volatility of Indian foreign exchange market, and also we will try to understand the various short term determinants or parameter who actually influence the spot exchange rate. Let us start with the characteristic of Indian foreign exchange market. If you see the characteristic in 92 onwards, the Indian foreign exchange market started its liberalization measures. After the forex market liberalization, direct and two-way quotation prevails in India. Direct means the foreign exchange, the unit of Indian rupee variable, INR is variable, but foreign exchange, that is dollar, remain constant. Per unit of dollar or per unit of foreign currency, how many rupees we supposed to pay, that is the direct quotation started. Prior to that, it was indirect quotation. So, direct quotation has become a normal features of a characteristic of Indian foreign exchange market after the liberalization. Two-way quotation, if you see the two-way quotation means the buyers and sellers rate started. Earlier it was a one-way quotation was there, two-way quotation the buyers rate and sellers rates will be there. So, the two-way quotation remove the bad rate, what is called somebody requires foreign exchange, if a put a asks for foreign exchange, the sellers will give a high quotation for that person. So, two-way quotation remove what is called the bad rate and also create liquidity in the system. Two-way quotation has become a norms or characteristic of Indian foreign exchange market. After that, if you see who are the major players, the major players were now commercial banks, they are the primary dealer in foreign exchange market. Along with the commercial bank, some authorized dealer as authorized by the RBI, they are also playing some leading role in Indian foreign exchange market. The authorized dealer primarily money changer, the travel agent and also some extent local banks like their cooperative bank also in the part of the foreign exchange market. However, it is commercial bank are the major players in Indian foreign exchange market. They are the authorized dealer not present. They are deciding the rate because it was prior to liberalization, RBI was declaring the rate and around that rate trades were there. But here commercial banks are declaring the rates and the rates are variable. In number of commercial banks something around hundreds are there in India, 97, 98 commercial banks are there in India. All this bank give different kind of rate and the rates vary over the different time periods. in a 1 hour you will get different rate from different banks. So, commercial banks are playing the leading role in Indian foreign exchange market at present. Then we have spot rate, forward rate, and these are the two rates which are predominant in Indian foreign exchange market. After the liberalization, the forward market started and forward rates are available at present along with the spot rate, and forward rate also are available in Indian foreign exchange market. These two rates are predominant in Indian foreign exchange market at present. However, very recently the currency futures market have started in India. Currencies options, currency futures are available for few currency in Indian foreign exchange market at present. Interbank, merchant and card rates. These three rates are available at present in Indian foreign exchange market. The interbank rate, among the bank, the rate the exchange of foreign currency take place, the rate called interbank rate. The merchant rate, exporter, importer, big merchant, they take their rate from the different commercial bank, they are the merchant rate. Small value transaction like the individual transaction, personal transaction, small value transactions are there for tourism, for hospitality, some other businesses. So, that card rates are available, and these card rates are also at present small value transaction rate has been developed over the year. The three rate, interbank rate, merchant rate and the card rate along with the spot and forward rate, the three rates four rates are available at present in Indian foreign exchange market. However, spot and forward market, two different segments of Indian financial foreign exchange market. Along with the segment, interbank, merchant and card rate, different rates are available. Spot rate is a spot market is a segments of Indian foreign exchange market. Forward market is a segments of Indian foreign exchange market. Currency future another segments of Indian foreign exchange market. But interbank, merchant and card rate, these are the rate available in Indian foreign exchange market. We should understand that segments of foreign exchange market and the rates in foreign exchange market. Rates are interbank rate, rates are merchant rate, rates are card rate. Segments are spot segment, forward segment and future segment. These are the three different segments of Indian foreign exchange market. If you see, after the current account convertibility in 93-94, Government of India and the RBI accepted the Article 8 of the International Monetary Funds, and they with this Article 8 they accepted the current account convertibility. All current account transaction like the export, import along with the invisible in the forms of what is called transport, tourism, interest payment, dividend payment, all these are family living expenses, all these are current account convertibility, current account, all these items are there in current account, and we have accepted the current account convertibility. After accepting the current account convertibility, Indian foreign exchange market, one biggest segments of Indian foreign exchange market has been liberalized. That segment is current account part, and another segment is a capital account. Slowly we have been progressing toward capital account convertibility. However, at present current account is 100% market determinant. All current account activity like export, import, invisibles are market determinant rate. And after the accepting the current account convertibility, Indian foreign exchange market have been liberalized significantly. You can see after the liberalization of foreign exchange market how the US dollar, pound sterling and Japanese yen moving over the year. You see US dollar, the blue line is US dollar, significantly there has been a depreciation of Indian rupee. Similarly, pound sterling also appreciating against the INR, pound sterling is appreciating. Same thing also Japanese yen also appreciating. After the accepting the current account convertibility, Indian rupee tried to find its own rate. The rate is moving toward the depreciation, that means fundamentals equilibrium exchange rate Indian rupee is moving towards the market rate. The market determine the actual rate of Indian currency INR, and after the liberalization of current account, the rupee is depreciating over the year. If you see the other characteristic of Indian foreign exchange market, if you analyze that, except the spot market, for a few currency, Indian forex market is not liquid in nature. Except the spot market, a spot market you will get spot market pound sterling, spot market euro, spot market US dollar, and also spot market you can get Japanese yen. All these 4 currency, if you remove these 4 currency in the spot market, Indian foreign exchange market is not liquid in nature. What does it mean? It means that you may not get a direct quote for other currency. Other currency transactions are not taking place in spot market except these 4 currency. Somebody want the Hong Kong dollar or the pound Australian dollar or the Canadian dollar, or you can found one or French franc. You have to go to other market to get a proper rate. And since the Indian foreign exchange market accept the spot market for few currency, it is illiquid in nature at present also. And if you see the forward market, in the spot market like INR, you are getting US dollar and INR, Japanese yen and INR, euro and INR, and some extent we may get the pound sterling also. There are direct quotes are available. All other currency we are not getting direct quote, you have to go for a cross currency quote. Cross currency quote. A cross currency you have to purchase dollar, from dollar to other currency you have to go to get a rate, and this actually increase the transaction cost for purchasing of other currency, and because of this reason the transaction cost in India is very high. For other currency the exchange rate against INR is not directly available, you have to purchase dollar, and from dollar you have to purchase other currency like Canadian dollar, from US dollar you can purchase Japanese yen and your French franc for Australian dollar, and this is cross currency option. Cross currency increase the transaction cost in Indian foreign exchange market. If you see Indian foreign exchange market, the biggest players are not the interbank, nor it is the merchant. The merchants are the biggest player with their volume of transaction, high volume of transaction. Merchant are primarily the corporate houses, the exporter, importer, they are the prime players in the foreign exchange market, and actually they decide the exchange rate in Indian context. Though merchant rates are lowest, but if you see the merchant rate, because of their high volume is the lowest rate quote they get from the bank, but the quote of merchant rate, merchant quote and the interbank quote are quite high. A difference between merchant quote and interbank quote is quite high. Similarly, merchant quote and card quote is very high. Similarly, card and interbank quote also very high. This indicates that Indian foreign exchange market is merchant. This indicates the merchant rates are lowest in Indian foreign exchange market because of their high volume, and the difference between merchant and interbank is quite high. Similarly, difference between your card rate and merchant are also quite high. The card rate is highest in Indian foreign exchange market because the small volume transaction, the transaction cost is very high. If you see other characteristic of Indian foreign exchange market, it is a forward market. The forward market is developed for the hedging purpose. After the current account convertibility, rupee has been depreciating or volatile in recent year. To prevent the volatility, the risk exposure, the forward market has been developed, and forward market in India at present is quite unorganized, and primarily the commercial bank major players in foreign exchange forward market, and the forward premium, that is called after 1 month if you want a rate, how much premium or discount we have to pay. The transaction cost for forward premium is high, very high, and beyond the interest rate differential. If you as we understood earlier session that the forward premium or discount should equal to the interest rate differential, but Indian context the forward premium is quite high compared to interest rate differential. This indicates that the very few banks they are deciding the forward premium, and the forward premium is not market determined. And also if you want a forward premium or forward rate beyond 3 months, it is not available in Indian market. At present also very few currency, that is only 3 to 4 currency, the pound sterling, the Indian the US dollar, Japanese yen, and some extent euro, you will get the forward quotation. For other currency there is no forward quotation is not available, and and indirectly or the cross currency side you have to get a forward quotation which increase the transaction cost for forward market also. Forward market is highly unorganized and it is the big bank, big commercial bank, they are the major player, they are the deciding banks in forward market and they influence the forward quotation and forward premium transaction cost. And forward premium is unorganized market at present, the credit risk also very high in forward market and beyond 3 months a forward market rate is not available in India at present also. These are the major drawback of Indian foreign exchange market. If you see the volume turnover in forward market, the volume turnover is not so high as compared to the turnover in spot market. This indicates that Indian financial system, particularly the foreign exchange market, the hedging as a concept is not developed. Hedging as a concept, hedging as an instrument not been adopted by the merchant, not been adopted by the other players in the foreign exchange market. This indicates that the volume transaction in spot market is quite high, volume transaction in forward market is quite low. This indicates the risk is there in very high risk is there in Indian foreign exchange market. Big merchant, particularly the big corporate, they are commanding both spot and forward market in India because of their high volume transaction. In other features of Indian foreign exchange market, if you see after that Sudhani committee recommendation, Sudhani committee they recommended some liberalization in foreign exchange market, allowing merchant bank for development of forward market further. Then also they allow what is called the more participant in the foreign exchange market, and after this Sudhani committee recommendation, Government of India, the Reserve Bank of India, they adopted to some extent the Sudhani committee recommendation, and this recommendation leads to further development of Indian foreign exchange market. After the recommendation, the exchange rate, if you see how it has developed, the exchange rate, if you see the pound sterling, Japanese yen and US dollar, because of this the Japanese yen depreciated, Indian foreign exchange market, more dollar, more Japanese currency came to India. Similarly, pound sterling also little bit remained stable over the year, same also in case of dollar, because the liberalization leads to inflow of foreign currency into India, and because of this reason rupee gained some momentum in India and remained stable over the year. However, there are other problems are there in Indian foreign exchange market, primarily the high transaction cost. The transaction cost in Indian foreign exchange market is quite high, and because the players in foreign exchange market are very limited. The authorized dealer is hardly 70-80 are there, among them very few banks are actually handle the foreign exchange market, and among the merchant very few big corporate houses, because of their volume transaction in export import, they also command the foreign merchant rate, and card rate which actually small value transactions are there is high cost because very few volume is very minimum, high cost is there in Indian foreign exchange market. This indicates that transaction cost in India over the period of development of foreign exchange market has not reduced significantly, and this indicates the another side of the foreign exchange market, what is called the the depreciation of the Indian rupee. Primarily, if you see the market rate and the actual rate where transaction take place, there is huge difference. The huge difference arises because of the transaction cost. The bid ask spread, what is called the buyers and seller rate, that buyers and sellers the difference is quite high, it should be minimum, should be very least. However, the buyers and seller rate, because of the high transaction rate plus the profit margin, it is quite high, and bid ask spread has been increasing over the year. After that 93-94 Government of India, after the Sudhani committee, they appointed a Tarapur committee, Tarapur committee further liberalization of Indian foreign exchange market. Tarapur committee primarily advised how to liberalize over the year the capital account. The capital account deals with the high inflow, outflow and foreign asset purchase and sell, in foreign currency. Foreign asset primarily in foreign currency, how you can develop the capital account convertibility over the year. The Tarapur committee also recommended that the phase manner transaction. The transaction means primarily the phase manner migration of Indian foreign exchange market towards the fuller capital account convertibility. The Tarapur committee recommendation, if you see, the committee has given some kind of good suggestion to the government of India, to the RBI. The committee recommended that banks and financial institutions should be given more freedom in foreign exchange transaction. So, particularly in the borrowing side and deployment of fund outside India. The banks should be given more freedom in borrowing foreign currency, also deploying the foreign currency abroad. The foreign institutional investor should be allowed more freedom, should be allowed more sector of the economy, so that they can there will be more flow of FI into India. The portfolio investment, particularly the foreign currency portfolio investment, the repatriation without prior RBI scrutiny, because how that they will when they get the dividend, they get the interest, they should be allowed to take out this fund from India without any RBI permission. Similarly, the FI non-resident India, non-resident Indians, and along with that foreign bank should have access for the forward transaction, particularly for their Indian asset, because the FI generally invest in India, non-resident Indian, they also invest in India, and also foreign bank, they also purchase foreign asset, and with the fluctuation of rupee dollar, rupee other foreign currency, their value of their asset fluctuate. They should be allowed to go for forward cover of their asset. So, FI, non-resident Indian and foreign bank should be allowed to access the forward market to cover their position. That is the RBI, that is recommendation of the Tarapur committee. After that also they also advise the banks should be permitted to participate in gold market abroad, particularly gold purchase, gold buy and sell in foreign abroad, banks should be allowed to participate. Similarly, the merchant banker, particularly withdrawing the Reserve Bank from playing the role of government's merchant banker. Generally, buying RBI played leading role in foreign currency provider or buyers or seller for government of India, and they recommended that RBI should be removed from the acting as a agent for the government, because they actually influence the exchange rate system. So, as a controller of exchange rate market, as a RBI should not be a buyer and seller in foreign exchange market. That is the recommendation of the Tarapur committee. After the Tarapur committee recommendation, particularly after 1998-99, the foreign exchange market further developed, because here the government of India, that your FI and the banks, particularly commercial bank, they get more freedom in foreign exchange market. And because of this reason, if you see the FI inflow increase after 1999 onwards, and this lead to the some extent stability of Indian rupee, which was depreciating over the year. If you see, the pound sterling remains stable over the year. Similarly, Indian rupee against US dollar also remains stable over the year, and some extent Japanese yen fluctuate, however, not so much as compared to earlier. This indicates that after the recommendation of Tarapur committee and implementation of some of the measures of Tarapur committee recommendation, rupee against major players of foreign currency remain stable over the year. Here I have tried to find the purchasing power parity rate. As I mentioned earlier session, that purchasing power parity determines the fundamental value of the Indian rupee or any other foreign currency. What is the purchasing power? A basket of assets, particularly consumable assets having having same quality. What is the cost in different countries? That decides the purchasing power of the currency. The basket of consumable asset, if it costs less in India, more in US, then Indian rupee have high value. Similarly, basket of asset or the consumable asset cost less in Bangladesh, more in India, then Indian rupee is depreciating against the Bangladesh currency. So, the purchasing power parity reveals the fundamental equilibrium value of the Indian rupee or any other foreign currency, and similarly the real effective exchange rate on the tradable goods and services against tradable goods and services also indicate the purchasing power of the currency. If I draw the PPP purchasing power parity along with the RER from 99 to 2011 10 years data, and I found that if you see the purchasing power parity, that is the red line, and the green line is the RER, remain almost same from 99 to 2006. After that the purchasing power parity is depreciating, red line is purchasing power parity is depreciating, there is more cost, because more cost the purchase one basket of commodity, Indians are paying more compared to the US, because and similarly that tradable items linked to RER, tradable assets, tradable item linked to RER also depreciating because of this reason, remain constant or remain constant or slightly fluctuating, but the red line PPP depreciating over the year, the tradable what is the basket of commodity which costing more in India compared to US, and this indicates rupee is depreciating over the year, and this primarily because of inflation, high taxation, and also maybe because of after 6-7 inflation in India started increasing, 6-7 to 11-12 it reached up to 12 to 14%. Because of this, maybe that the purchasing power parity in India decline in India compared to US. The purchasing power reflect actually the fundamental value of the Indian rupee compared to other currency, and the purchasing power parity and the real exchange rate, particularly the real exchange rate of should move in tandem to each other, so as to find rupee should find its equilibrium value over the year. Since purchasing power parity is declining, rupee also depreciating over the year up to 2006-7, and it has reached up to in 2012-13 minimum around 55 to 60. 55 to 57. If 2006-7 rupee, if you see around 45-46, and because of the purchasing power parity decline for Indian currency, the rupee reached something around depreciated more than 10 rupees, and this purchasing power parity indicates that what would be the movement of Indian rupee, the fundamental value of the Indian rupee over the year. If you see try to find the mean and volatility of the Indian rupee, I have done I have tried to find last 7 years data, what is the mean value of Indian rupee, what is the volatility of Indian rupee against the US dollar, and you see I have found that mean of the Indian rupee somewhere, the blue line indicates the mean of the Indian rupee in different financial year, and if you see in 2006-7 the mean of the Indian rupee some extent around 45, which has little bit depreciate 7-8 and increase over the period, the trend is the mean value is depreciating to something around 54, 53, 54 in 2011-12. So, in 7 years rupee value depreciated by more than 10 rupees. This also indicated by your purchasing power parity, the rupee value depreciated some nearly after 6-7 depreciated by nearly 50%, 40%. Similarly, if you see the volatility of Indian rupee, the secondary axis indicates the volatility, this axis indicates the volatility. The volatility red line, you see the volatility of Indian rupee against the US dollar is fluctuating and increasing over the year, the trend is increasing over the year. The volatility was somewhat nearly 0.7, it is increased to 0.9 say in 7 years. This is also indicate the volatility of Indian foreign exchange market, particularly the spot market against the US dollar is increasing over the year. The mean value of the Indian rupee against the US dollar also depreciating by nearly 10 rupees last 7 years. If you use the volatility and try to find what is the VAR, the value add risk, I try to find the value add risk of Indian rupee, and I found that value add risk for $10 million. Value add risk, as I mentioned in our earlier session discussion, that value add risk indicate what is the maximum value, the potential you will be losing if you take a position in Indian foreign exchange market. Why you will lose the money or dollar or any position? Because volatility. The volatility indicate how much you will lose if you have a position. The maximum loss for a given risk. The risk is here volatility, the value is here $10 million. If you have a $10 million, how much you will lose if you continue to have that same position for 1 year. I try to find the value at risk from 2006-7 to 2011-12, and value at risk calculation, as I mentioned earlier, the value at risk is where is nothing but the 99 position volatility at present. You have a confidence limit for where confidence limit. My confidence limit is 99%. I am 99% sure that if you take a normal curve, I am 99% sure the volatility will be volatility of Indian rupee, the spot exchange rate against US dollar will remain at the same pattern. So, So, in 2006 the 99% the normal curve, the value is 2.33 and where the volatility is sigma here. The volatility in 2006-7, if you see the volatility 2006-7, the volatility the red line something around, if you secondary axis 0.63, something around 0.63. So, volatility in 2006-7 the volatility 0.63 and with a confidence limit of 99%, that value will be 2.33 if you multiply. And what is the position for me? The position for me is $10 million. So, the value at risk, if you see the calculation will be there, the value at risk here, the value at risk is confidence limit, the volatility into the confidence limit into the volatility into the position. So, position is here, we have to describe that. How to calculate the volatility? I told you the VAR of limit is confidence limit into the sigma of volatility into the position, how much foreign exchange you have purchased. So, in 2006-7 the volatility is 0.63 and confidence limit is our is 99% confidence limit, which value is something around 2.33 and my position in the market is $10 million. So, we want to find the value at risk for in 2006-7, the first is confidence limit 2.33 into the volatility 0.63 and the position is $10 million. This will be this will give me the position where my VAR in 2006-7 my confidence limit, I am assuming that I am confident that the same pattern of risk, the normal curve having same pattern of risk. So, normal curve will have same pattern of risk So, I assume that my risk, the spread, or what I can tell volatility remain constant over the in 2006-7. So, I put 2006-7 volatility is 0.63. I am confidence level I got from normal table 99% confidence 2.33 and my position in the market is 10 million. This will give me the value. What is the maximum loss I can have if I have a position of 10 million. So, I have calculated this for 2006-7, 7-8 and up to 2011-12. Where I got the volatility I got is from here. The red line indicates the volatility of spot rate. How I got volatility? I have taken 2006-7 data of Delhi exchange rate. I calculate the volatility. Similarly, 2007-8 in Indian rupee and US dollar I got a Delhi exchange rate, I calculate the volatility. Like that I got the volatility every year I plotted here, and for value at risk my position is 10 million. 10 million I am 99% confident. So, normal table 99% confidence limit will give you 2.333 value. I multiply 2.33. If you see I multiply the 2.33 here with the volatility of 2006-7 for the 10 million, I got the what is the risk position for me. If the risk position increases, how the risk position, this thing remain constant. So, only this thing also remain constant. What is the how my loss will be increases if the volatility is more. If the volatility is more, since over the year if you see the data, see the earlier data, volatility is increasing over the year and my loss position, positional loss for $10 million position, my loss also goes on increasing. And if I see 2006-7 that where model volatility where is volatility this axis, this is the red line volatility, this is a red line volatility is the secondary axis and the loss will be in million, loss data is here. So, 2006-7 my loss position is increasing 2006-7, if you see 2006-7 my vary something around this, 2007-8 my vary is like that, my everything my vary is increasing over the year. This indicates the where position over the year, and this volatility indicates that how much I am losing over the year, the loss is increasing. This is one of the another characteristic of Indian foreign exchange market, the where position, the positional vary is increasing, the loss is increasing. This indicates the Indian foreign exchange market is highly volatile. The other thing I have done, what are the factor which actually decide the spot exchange rate Indian foreign exchange market. We have discussed all these things in our earlier initial classes, initial session, that money market rate, the FI inflow outflow, the current account deficit and surplus, export import, that is a trade deficit, the growth of GDP, IIP, inflation, the equity market return, all these variable they indicate they influence the Indian foreign exchange market. Among these variable, which are the prime variable, because we cannot say all variable has own importance. To find out the which one of the major variable actually influence the spot exchange rate or the major determinant of spot exchange rate in Indian context, I have taken here the rupee dollar exchange rate and try to find which are the main primary variable which influence the rupee dollar exchange rate in spot market. Before that, I try to run this whether the forward premium, the forward earlier classes we discussed, the call rates and the forward premium move the same direction. I found the call rate is increasing, the interest rate differential in money market rates are increasing. So, forward premium increasing, forward premium in other ways influence the future spot. So, if the call rate increasing, the forward premium increase and future spot also increases or rupee may depreciate. Similarly, if spot rate declining, forward premium decline and future spot also appreciate, future rupee will appreciate. Similarly, I have found the forward premium interest rate differential. Interest rate differential I have taken here call rate and Fed fund rate of US and tried to find what is the relationship among these two. Some extent these two are also related, because when forward premium is volatile, interest rate differential is volatile, the forward premium also volatile, and when the forward premium in interest rate differential is increasing, the forward premium also increasing. So, interest rate differential between Indian call money market and foreign exchange market, your Fed fund rate is increasing, the forward premium increases, because there will be more potentially more dollar will come to India to get advantage of arbitrage opportunity of high interest rate, and this will fluctuate the Indian rupee, and Indian rupee may depreciate in this end further. Similarly, I try to find whether the increasing forward premium have anything to do with the spot exchange rate change between US dollar Indian rupee. So, all that this also have a significant impact. When the spot rate, the forward premium is increasing, the rupee dollar spot change, the volatility of rupee dollar also fluctuating. So, some extent these two also influence to each other. Similarly, I have found the interest rate differential and spot change. When the interest rate differential is increasing, rupee dollar is fluctuating. This also some extent they are flowing in, they are also moving in same direction. When rupee dollar is increasing, interest rate differential is the red line which fluctuating, the rupee dollar exchange rate also fluctuating, and they are also moving in almost same direction. These are some variables I have found, and how they actually influence the exchange rate, spot, particularly the spot exchange rate between dollar INR and US dollar. Then I try to run what is called a OLS, regression line, where my dependent variables, is US dollar INR, my dependent variable, I run a regression line, try to find dependent variable. My my dependent variable is US dollar INR, that is Indian rupee and INR spot rate. I try to find which are the parameter try influence the US dollar INR spot rate. And my independent variable, variables are I have mentioned here. Here independent variable are interest rate differential, that is your call rate minus Fed fund rate, US money market rate, Fed fund rate. Similarly, I have other variable also, other variables are here, my other variables are here, the BSE return, BSE is the Bombay Stock Exchange, the return of the Bombay Stock Exchange, return means percentage return. Percentage return means here the Bombay Stock Exchange. Why Bombay Stock Exchange influence the foreign exchange market? Because when the return is high in Bombay Stock Exchange, more FI will come to India. They will invest in stock market to get good return, and return also when more FI will come, rupee will appreciate. This also influence the dependent variable, or dependent variable is the spot rate. Similarly, I have another rate FI flow, change in FI flow, FI may be, there may be FI may come, FI may go, it depends upon the exchange rate, it depends upon the return. So, what are the net inflow outflow, how it is changing in FI net change, because FI inflow minus FI outflow, that is the net inflow. The net inflow how it is changing, percentage change of net inflow may influence the spot rate, that also I have taken into the percentage change on net inflow, I have taken into account spot. Another rate is, last one is current account deficit, COD. Current account deficit means when our export minus import, plus net invisible, net invisible means our other flow in current account. Other flow in current account, that dividend, interest rate, your family living expenses, some kind of transport cost, all this tag net invisible. India have a net invisible positive. Similarly, our export minus import, the trade deficit India is negative, but our net invisible is positive. So, current account will be positive. When this will be more, this will be more, then current account may be deficit. When current account deficit means India need more foreign currency, rupee will depreciate. Rupee will depreciate. The current account deficit have a positive relation. Current account deficit is more, rupee will depreciate. Current account deficit is less, that is rupee will appreciate. All these variable, primary variables are there. How this variable have a linkage with the spot rate? How they determine the exchange rate and the exchange rate in India? I try to run a what is called a OLS regression. In my OLS regression, as I mentioned to you that US dollar and INR spot rate is a function of current account deficit, interest rate differential, then FI net FI percentage change of net FI, and also what is called BSE return percentage, BSE return percentage. So, I have these are the 4 variable BSE return percentage, these are the 4 variable. I try to find a equation among them through a ordinary least square OLS, and the OLS I run using you can use the Excel sheet, you can use Excel and run the regression line also. In Excel, if you put all data and try to find a functional relationship through regression line, the regression will come out and it will show how these variables are linked to each other. In this context, I run the regression line and you see that the coefficient, you will see here you can see that how that line, how the regression line has done. Here the constant, what is the mean value of a spot rate? Mean value of the spot rate without anything over the period. I run the data 94 to 2012, the mean value of the Indian spot INR and US dollar spot is something around 46.70. If other variables are remain 0, then mean value of the Indian rupee is 46.70. And interest rate differential has a 0.5959 coefficient. The coefficient means if the interest rate differential is 2%, if you multiply 0.5959 with 2%, you will get what is the contribution to the spot rate by the interest rate differential. Similarly, BSE exchange rate, BSE though it is not significant, it is not, P value indicates the significant, it is not significant, BSE return is not influencing the spot rate. Then FI net inflow changes, it is also influencing the foreign exchange. When more FIs are coming to India, the spot rate is declining, spot rate rupee is appreciating, rupee value is appreciating, negative change is more flow of FI, rupee value will appreciate. The current account deficit also having negative, also significant. The current account deficit is more, and then current account deficit is more, that is current account we have taken deficit. So, minus sign is indicate the negative, the current account deficit is less, rupee value is appreciate, current account deficit is more, rupee value will be depreciating. This also influence the regression line, it is also significant if you see the p value. The adjusted R square, how much this dependent variable describe about the independent variable. The 55 something around 50 adjusted R square 55.5592, 55 or 56% of the change in the INR it described by the this four variable. 55% of the change in INR is described by the 4 variable, and Durbin-Watson indicate the error component. The Durbin-Watson also quite good, it is something around 2% is 1.48%, 84%. So, this equation indicates that the interest rate differential, that net FI flow and the current account deficit influence the spot exchange rate between Indian rupee and US dollar. If you See what are the parity hypothesis. I told you the another major characteristic of Indian foreign exchange market is just parity. Parity here I have taken into account the covered interest parity and uncovered interest parity. Already we have discussed about that, and these two parity hypothesis does not hold for India. The covered interest parity is not holding for India, but however, the discrepancy of covered interest parity is declining. This means Indian rupee is moving toward the parity, moving toward the interest rate parity. Similarly, however, uncovered interest parity, that is a spot exchange rate is not reflected because of change in the forward rate or interest rate differential. This also uncovered interest parity is not holding. However, covered interest parity some extent moving towards the parity, deviation is declining. So, Indian rupee is moving toward the covered interest parity. These are some discussion of the parity rate. However, what is the reason for the not abiding by the parity? Why Indian foreign exchange market not holding the parity, interest rate parity hypothesis? What are the factors that contribute to this? If you see over the year, the prime factor is high transaction cost. The transaction cost I mentioned earlier that if you look at the exchange rate Indian rupee and US dollar and go to the bank ask for exchange rate, the dollar suppose around 55 rupees, market rate is 55.25. If you purchase dollar from the bank, it will be more than that, at least 2 to 3 rupees extra you are paying. This is nothing but a transaction cost. Indian current transaction cost is very high. Because of this reason, one of the reason the deviation of parity is occurring. Similarly, market participant, since Indian rupee is depreciating, the market participant wait for further depreciation. This also leads to the non abiding by the parity hypothesis. Indian market is highly inefficient because the information is confined to few people, few authorized dealers, and they are taking the advantage of market inefficiency. Inefficiency of market also another parameter which contribute to deviation from the parity hypothesis. Capital account convertibility, at present also we do not have full capital account convertibility. Control on the capital movement also influence the deviation from the interest rate parity. The high volatility of capital inflow, because the FI inflow is a major part of the capital inflow to India, and because of their high volatility, this also affect the deviation from the parity hypothesis. And another is the high inflation in India. The real interest parity I have not discussed with you this class. Earlier classes we have discussed about the high real interest parity. Real interest parity is quite high because of high inflation. The high inflation also contribute to the deviation of interest rate parity hypothesis. These are some of the characteristics of Indian foreign exchange market, and this we have to understand how the characteristics have developed or evolved over the year with the liberalization of foreign exchange market. Let us discuss some of the questions. The self evaluation you can do and try to discuss the two questions. Bring out the various characteristics of Indian foreign exchange market. You have to link the characteristic with the liberalization measure. Try to discuss the characteristic like the transaction cost, like the volatility, interest rate parity, the factor affecting Indian foreign exchange market, the unorganized forward market, the participant in the foreign exchange market, who are the participant, how they are influencing the foreign exchange market, how the rates are different, the spot rate different, the merchant rate different, how the rates are deviating from the market rate, and also how the merchant are playing leading role in foreign exchange market. All these characteristics you can discuss in the first question. The second question is, what are the parameters would you consider for assessing the fundamental value of INR? So, I told you the fundamental value of INR is reflected to the purchasing power parity, reflected to the real effective exchange rate. The purchasing power parity theory primarily influenced by the what is called the inflation, the taxation, the control, the high cost of interest rate, and also the RER influenced by inflation, the trade basket, the trade relation, and all these things, the fundamental value of INR. The fundamental value of INR is derived from our trade basket, because our export and current account deficit should be less. So, our export should be more, or current account deficit should be less so as to find a fundamental value of the INR. If India demands more foreign currency, the fundamental value will decline, because our supply of foreign currency depends upon the fundamental value. The fundamental value is more, because purchasing power parity is more in India, then our rupee will appreciate and it will get a good value in the market. However, our export is less, imports are more, or invisible are less, the fundamental value also will be less. You have to try to find the market value of current Indian INR and try to have a link with the fundamental value of INR, then you will understand that which are the parameters actually influence the fundamental value. With this, let me complete the session and try to you can get the references for the characteristic of Indian foreign exchange market from the RBI publication, from the liberalization measure over the year Government of India has taken, RBI has taken, from the Sodhani committee report, from the Tarapur committee report, and various issues of annual reports of RBI. Thank you.